How'd you come up with the slang?
Oh, you know, I wanted to do something that would show like, you know, socioeconomic differences and stuff like that. And my original idea for this was a historical, and like that didn't last very long. But like initially, I was thinking I would do something historical, so I had a couple of books of like historic slang and stuff like that, and I was trying to think of like how I could incorporate that in, and I thought it would be really fun to write, to like make up this, you know, sort of patois, that, you know, like particular speech patterns, and everybody has like a slightly different one. Like, I mean, there are parts where Bump is like almost incomprehensible because he's so like, he just doesn't care. And then, you know, there's another character who's from another part of town, and he uses more like Georgian slang and like kind of crazy made up words. And then someone like Chess, who has an education, she understands what they're saying, but she doesn't talk that way herself. So it's like, you know, just kind of another way of adding to what Downside is, and what kind of place it is. I mean, you know, this is a place where people don't necessarily go to school. You know, there's one character who didn't learn to read until he was 12 years old, and that was because, you know, someone decided he should learn, and they had a hot girl teach him. She'd sit next to him wearing like this little low-cut nightgown, and every time he'd get something right, she'd clap her hands, and it would like push her cleavage together. So that's how he learned. That's why he pushed himself to learn, was so that she would clap her hands and he could see her boobs. But so it was, you know, just another. I mean, if you think about it, people who are poor and uneducated aren't going to sound like everyone else. So, but I didn't want to use like typical Ebonics either, because I didn't want to. It's a really racially diverse world. Like nobody ever catches it, but Edsel is an albino. No one's caught it yet, but he is, and it's like. In this world, because there are so few people and the church and everything, like there aren't any real color divisions or anything like that. So I didn't want to use something that people might associate with, like, you know, inner city African American culture or anything like that, because that's not the culture that it is. And I wanted to be really careful not to sound like I was stereotyping people, or anything like that. So I came up with my own. That's basically it. So, which is kind of weird to read out loud.
It sounds great.
Oh,
It sounds really
Does
wonderful.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you did just an excellent job.
It's really fun. It's really fun to write the Downspeech, especially when I get to add the slang from past periods and stuff like that. I get a kick out of that. So I have my little, you know, word museum and my little past dictionaries, and I'll be like, oh, I can stick something in there, and I'll spend like hours looking through and like writing down little lists of words, something that I can slip in at another time. And yeah, that's always really fun.